All right, Kenman here, and today we will visit a glorious land. We have enjoyed many a day in this wonderful kingdom. What will it present us with on this adventure? Before we start, I'm not sponsored by anyone, and I purchase everything at retail price. I do these videos because I love discussing knives and sharing info and ideas with others. If you have any questions or thoughts, please feel free to comment below. Quick side note, I started an Instagram. I noticed when I post some photos and stuff on YouTube, they will kind of cut down the quality a little bit, and I have some photos that I've taken that are basically a little bit higher quality, and wanted to kind of find a place to share them, so I figured I'd start an Instagram, and if anyone is interested, you can follow me over there at KDK in 4K. KDKIN 4K. Sharpie. KDK in 4K over at Instagram. I got a few pictures posted. I'm going to be posting all my real high definition quality photos of my knives and stuff. So if that's something you're interested in, you can go there, check it out. Follow me over there. I would love to follow you. Look at other knives and stuff as well. So hit me up. Excellent stuff. Okay. So on my extensive searches for some specific criteria, I came across this. Let's get it open, and let's try not to get that Sharpie all over us. Seems like on this bag it's going to smear. All right, we are, boom, CJRB. Bag on the floor. We are visiting the land of CJRB. I love CJRB, have many, many knives from them. When's the last one? What is the last one I opened? There's a lot. I don't remember. But yeah, I came across a CJRB here that struck me in a way while I was searching for specific handles. And here we are. What is it? Jeez. Stop fighting around and open the box. Ha, okay. Okay. Fine. Let's go. All right. This is, as you can see, is one of the more budget CJRBs in the box that does not have a bag. Box on the floor. All right. Here we are. Does anybody recognize? Wow, this is a lot shinier than it looked. That does not bother me. Let me get this thing out. Mini bag on the floor. And that leaves us with this. This, what we are looking at here, this smooth profile, is the CJRB Agave. Boom. Ooh. Little oil there. Let's get a rag. Give it a nice little wipe quick. Big streak of oil. Yeah. It's fairly common, newer knives. Keep them nice and lubed up so they work good when you get them for the first time. Okay, we have the CJRB Agave. Here it is. In its shiny glory. What are we looking at, Kenman? This has a D2 blade steel with a kind of Warncliffe point spear tip, right? Perfect. D2 steel, like I said, and then it has an aluminum handle. For what would we want an aluminum handle? Maybe we'll find out. Yeah, it's got a liner lock. Okay. Boom. Flipper tab. Looks like flipper tab only. There's nothing, no real way to get in there No fuller, no hole, no thumb stud. So we are looking at the flipper tab is the only mode of deployment. Seems like it works fairly easy. Let's see if I can fail one. I'm going to try to push as absolute light as possible. See if it can prevent it from opening all the way. It seems like it's tuned in fairly good. It doesn't require much once you get a hold of it there. That was a pretty light one, but it still flicked all the way out. Let's try it upside down and really, really light. Still flips all the way out. So it has enough, the detent on there basically. Ooh, I can't even pull it out like that. Got to use the flipper tab. Let's take a look at that as it comes in. Grabs it and pulls it in. It's so tight that I can't even, oh, there, I did. Got it out. It does have a nice little push, so you have to, build that pressure up, and then it releases and then flips it out. It's got a nice action because it doesn't feel like you have to push too hard, but when it does grab, it pretty much is going to flip all the way out, which is cool. I like that. Feels nice. There is no jimping whatsoever, which gives me a sad face. But it's okay. That's just kind of how it is sometimes. I do like a jimp though. It does kind of have a ramp here, kind of a harpoon kind of a feel. With this ramp, I can get my thumb right in there for doing push. Looks like you can choke up on it into that spot. Ooh, your finger fits in there really nice. Wow, that is a deep set kind of curve. That it's so deep that your finger gets in there. You don't even feel like you're going to slide up on that. I'm sorry if I'm out of focus. It doesn't even feel like it's going to slide up onto the sharp point because it's so deep, kind of stuck in there. That actually feels kind of nice. Decent. But from here, the thumb goes all the way out to there. Index finger sits in that spot nice for doing some pulls. And that choke up spot, that is nice. Pocket clip can be swapped to the other side for the lefties. I like that. It's got a long kind of a end point with this lanyard hole in there. Feels like they could almost just cut all that off, but it kind of gives it this kind of sweep. It's interesting shape. The handle with the extra little facets, I guess, and shape direction, and then the blade with that point. It's just interesting. I overlooked it. Didn't really notice this as much until I started thinking about getting some more aluminum handles. And now that I have it, I'm fairly happy. So this looks like it's pretty much this satiny silver all the way around. You've got that gold accent, then a little bit of black. Whoa. Does that say AR RPM 9 on that right there? It does. Well, how about that? On the description for this, it says D2 steel. And that right there says AR RPM 9, which is a better steel. So you got that going for you. That is cool. I did not realize that. That is a nice little surprise. Nothing wrong with D2 steel, but it does have a little bit more of a corrosion potential versus the AR RPM 9. But, I'm not extremely knowledgeable on all the different steels out there. But, yeah, that's cool. Excellent. Okay. Where are we at here? We looked at the detent. There are no jimps. The lockup blade is solid in all directions. Let's see if it's... No, it's just a solid blade. Centering looks great. Nice and centered. Wow, the way that blade... It's almost flush with this spot right here. Can you see that? The way it comes in, it's completely exposed, and then where the blade cuts down next to the body, it kind of just hugs it, and it's like almost riding right next to it. But then that tip gets in there far enough that I can kind of can I jam my pinky into that tip? No, it feels like it's in there deep enough. If you had a really skinny little finger, maybe you could get in there and touch that tip just a little bit. So that's something to think about, that it doesn't really recess or disappear down into the handle as much. Not bad. All right, let's do a little close-ups. So these scales are smooth all the way around. There is no texture on them at all. It kind of actually almost looks like it has kind of an orange peel, kind of a, you know, it is smooth, but I don't know, let's see if I get my glasses. If I zoom in, see kind of how it has that kind of sparkly texture. So it's smooth, but it kind of has this kind of finish to it. I don't know what you call that. But other than that, it is contoured, so there is a little bit of a curve, give you that slightly rounded feel. Edges are all smooth on the back, smooth pretty much everywhere. The liner lock is cut out a little bit more on this side, so it's really easy to get to that. Let's see how drop shutty it is. Not bad, pretty smooth right out of the box. Almost can slam it shut in one. Excellent stuff. I like this knife. This is cool. Okay, let's bring it in here a little bit and do some measurements. This is a larger knife. We are looking at over 8 inches. I'm going to pull this out just a little. About 8, trying to get to 8 1/4, not quite 8 1/4 tip to tip. Blade is 3 1/2 with a 3 1/8 cutting edge. And the handle is 4 3/4. I'll be dipped. All right. I always do comparisons with the Pyrite. Pyrite is a very common mid-size knife that most everybody has or is aware of. So it's good for a size comparison. As you can see, this is a little bit longer. If I line them up right there, butt end's a little longer, front end's a little bit longer. Overall, it's about 1 inch longer than the Pyrite. Cutting surface is actually pretty similar. It's all about a little more than 1/4 inch longer than the Pyrite's cutting surface. So the Pyrite does have a nice long cutting surface. That blade, or I mean that handle, is definitely a 1/2 inch shorter, but pretty similar to the Pyrite. I have the Sencut Acumen, which is an Acumen Arc Blast. I have a Sencut Acumen too, but the Sencut Arc Blast is a great button lock that I did a custom laser mark on the aluminum handle. See where we're going with this, everybody? So yeah, this was just a standard aluminum handle, and I designed this kind of ripple expansive pattern and then took it apart so that I was able to mark it and then have it not go through the hardware, give us this nice thing where it kind of comes out of that spot right there. What does everyone think? Turned out pretty good. I'm actually really happy with it. But I have a decent aluminum setting on the laser marker that gives us this nice color, this nice kind of white. It's transitionally, see, like if you look at the big stripes are kind of light and the small stripes are dark. And we go this way. And now the small stripes are light and the big stripes are dark. Aluminum has an interesting surface quality that allows it to kind of do that transitional kind of a thing. And since I've got a nice laser mark for it, I'm looking for more aluminum handle candidates. If you know some knives that have aluminum handles that would be fun for me to check out, pick up for this specifically for this specific laser marking type of a thing. Wow, that looks so clean and smooth as it is. What are we going to do with the laser marks on that? I could just leave this knife as is. It's funny how some knives, you see it several times and it kind of goes under your radar. And then once you kind of see it this one time for a specific reason, or you look at it a different way one day, all of a sudden it becomes very desirable. It's very interesting. I love knives. Talk about them all the time. Another one I grabbed was very similar is this Civivi Backlash. The reason I grabbed the backlash is because ultimately this one is a flipper tab only, and it's about, this one's a little bit cheaper. No, these are both in that budget $30 to $50 kind of range. But this one, the way it's designed, and it just has that flipper tab and that kind of interesting blade shape, almost kind of like a harpoon spot. I thought they were kind of similar. They're also really kind of similar in size. So I figured it would be kind of a good one to kind of just throw out there as a little comparison. They both have that front finger choil. Really kind of a similar knife in a way. If you're interested though, this Agave Backlash is a really nice knife for like 30 bucks. That accent there. I added the titanium clip and did the anodizing to try to get it to match the liner. Gives it an extra little special bonus on this one. Cool knife though. All right. Hijacking over. So this Agave is cool. Let's go ahead and do, since we're doing the measurements, we can weigh it quick here. Can you see the numbers? You like my KDK sticker? KDK and 4K on Instagram. All right, so in ounces, we are 3.77 ounces. What was the other thing someone wanted? Grams? I can't see that. I'm getting so many reflections. Grams. 107 grams, 3.77 ounces. Little reference for you. The pyrite is 3.61. So ultimately, it's not that much heavier than the pyrite. And it's bigger for sure. 2.9 for that Sen cut. 3.9. So the backlash is a little bit heavier. But for a bigger knife, 3.77, it's not too terribly heavy. Yeah, I would almost... What kind of texture would you call this? Because it is smooth. It feels very smooth. You cannot really feel that. But it does kind of have that sparkly texture to it. That's cool. I dig it. I'm liking this knife. I will enjoy it. And what would we like to see for the laser mark on there? Something that's on the whole thing with the blade? Just the blade? Well... no, we're going to do the handle too. But what would we like to see? I think I might do, I have a pattern idea for the whole handle that I might try that I'm going to keep secret for now. But comment below if you have any ideas on what would be cool to do for the laser mark on this. And maybe I'll take it into consideration. Yeah, Blade Show Texas is coming up soon in a couple of weeks. Getting ready for that. I'm very excited. More unboxings, die projects, and laser marking obviously coming up soon. I'm getting into Scrimshaw. If you don't know what that is, Scrimshaw is going to be coming in hot. But yeah, a lot of fun stuff coming up on the channel. Hope you're having a good time enjoying it. I'm having a great time making the content. A lot more coming in the future. That is going to be it for today. If you enjoy what you see, please hit that like button. Subscribe if you'd like to see more. Helps me out, and I really appreciate it. Stay sharp. We'll see you soon.